Hi and welcome to a new tutorial. Today we will model a car, a futuristic one, that one. And I will show you just the basic principles that you need for more or less every car that you will model with polygons in Maya. The things I did where I prepared my views. So I have my scan here and I just created a new file here, 3000 pixels or something, and just put the views here to this file. And what you should also do is, so I have my 4 views here, and when you try with the transparency, that you check that everything is aligned as good as possible. Okay. Also in this views, so I tried to see this with transparency down, that everything is quite fine. This will save you a lot of work then in Maya. Of course, you have to readjust maybe a little bit in Maya also, but be sure that you prepare this well. And the next thing, of course, I did is I created a new project. I have all my stuff here and the views, of course, in the source images here. Okay, name it right. I have the perspective here just for controlling the form. And I already prepared the 3D scene with the image planes. So be sure that you have loaded everything right in top, front and side view. And in the perspective, you see if your drawings fit well to each other. So check that your lines fit everywhere, that your middle line, I switched off my grid so that, because we will mirror the whole thing. So we just build one half, of course. So be sure that it's just in the middle. And be sure that your lines fit to each other. Of course, you see here a little bit when you move it, you see here it's not perfect, so I have to adjust it because of the middle line, of course. So also check if this is fine here. The problem is when I, here I have the middle line, when the drawing is not perfect, so, but it's near to perfect. And also here on the top, check that your, actually here should be the highest point here, but I won't scale it because everything will be, and won't fit anymore. So I'm just ignoring that. And of course I have to move my image here to the front and see that the so the lines here are fitting together, and also here in the front. Good. Then I'm moving the stuff out of the way. It always helps me to keep an overview. And if you don't want to see the images, then just open up the attributes and go here to looking through camera, so that the images, you can see it here perfectly through cameras, but they aren't this annoying here. I also prepared the wheels already, and also this kind of rough sensor stuff, because this would also help me to find geometry around where I need it. Okay, so also prepare that. Just basic geometry. And now the actual modeling will start. What we do is we model the different parts of the car. So for example, we will model this a separate thing, and this one, and here the wings, and all that stuff. We were trying to do separate geometry, and then we'll try to connect it if necessary. Of course, when you have some windows or doors, of course, we won't connect it there. But if your geometry is connected, we also will connect it. Good. We will start here with this part here. And for that, we will create polygon primitives pipe. Because when you have round geometry, of course, then start with round geometry. And what we do, and very important, try to start as low poly as possible. So just moving here. Trying to so then thickness, yeah, not too high, not too low. Yeah, not so bad for the beginning. And what we do is we get rid of a lot of faces, actually the whole back part, so we just have some flat faces here. And I also get rid of this stuff. Then I will reposition that part, so I check in all my views where it should be. I position it right here. And also check, yeah, if here is everything fine. Then I just do some quick forming, just one edge point here and here. And what I do is I move this line here, so my first form is created. The next part will be here, part of the bonnet, Motorhaube. And for that I start with a simple plane and of course reduce your subdivisions. And I'm just positioning that stuff here. And because of connecting it later, I'm trying to have a similar subdivision style. And I'm just checking here in all the views if I can do any modification. So this is a little bit bent. Also this here, here, also here. I just move these vertices so that I keep a small gap here. And later on, of course, I will connect here some of the parts. And as I can see from the image, this is also a little bit bent. And maybe later on I will connect here. So I'm just preparing in thoughts for that. Then I do first extrude, and we will do a couple of them. So I'm just moving it up because, okay, I know this point should be connected here. I have my perspective view next to me so that I see where should all the points be. I'm not sure if there the points as I see it here. Maybe the points should start right here on the back of this. So I'm not quite sure if this, yeah, should be the correct position here. And so I'm checking always from all views if everything is matching more or less. I'm not sure if this should be more in the back. So it's my kind of interpretation where the stuff should be. Then I do another extrude. And I guess this should be a little bit lower. And here I need some more material to connect, so I extrude a side, one side here, because it should go up here. And when I do any extrusion, I check in all views, okay, let me see that this point should be definitely lower, and in this view I have to check where are my lines going. And I also see that this should be a little bit lower, maybe also this here. Okay, and when I'm happy in all perspectives, I think, I'm not sure where, if this line, so you see, I guess this line should be this one, but it has different heights and different perspectives, so I'm just selecting one of them. Then go back in, I always image plane selecting, so then I'm taking these three edges and extrude them another time, and maybe I'm flattening them out a little bit, moving them down because I'm not allowed to go higher here. And here in the top view I see, take these two, move them. Okay, then another extrude. Always check in the 3 mode if there is everything okay. So I'm trying to stay on the same height. And now my curves are getting tighter. I never mind about the gap here, or maybe I could move this down a little bit because there should be a connection then later on. Then another extrude. Scaling. It's always about moving and scaling points and moving along the curve where it should flow. So now I'm leaving that because I will create extra faces here later on if I need them. And maybe I go a little bit higher. And one last extrude. Because here my curves will end. More or less. Check here, okay, looks a little bit weird, but maybe so I use the slide edge tool here to move this down, and I'm not sure how the connection will be later, so I'm just leaving that. Slide edge, so I'm sliding this. So also here I try to do the points and see if everything's fine. Maybe I do here some kind of scaling. That's the reason why you should work in low subdivision mode, because otherwise you may get a little bit too confused and it will be hard to keep the geometry fine. Okay, I think, yeah, maybe I'm done here. Should be maybe a little bit more inside. You see, it's not always easy to see where, when I move it here, then here it doesn't fit anymore. So you have to decide which direction should fit. Before I think about the connection here, I'm doing the next bonnet part here. It's easier. So again, starting not with the cube, with the plane. Start again with 2 subdivisions. Remember that we just model the half. So yeah, there should be the start, I guess, somehow, somewhere. I give it a little bit of definition already. And also try to use the given structure here, more or less, okay? And then starting to extrude. Oops. Check where I should go a little bit higher, maybe with every step. I go a little bit higher. I take my vertices. Maybe I need a third here afterwards, but I'm just happy with 2 in the moment. Actually, I'm not allowed to go further then, because somewhere here should be the end, obviously, of the bonnet. but I should be higher. Yes. And I guess here should be lower. Maybe it could be a little bit higher here already, in the middle. I get more the form like it is in my drawing. And maybe I need another one, another extrude. Or not. I'm not sure. Or maybe I delete just that one. I'm thinking about that later. I guess here it's fine. And actually, I'm doing now the same thing with all the parts of the car body. That means I start with the plane, I check the subdivisions, and I won't explain now every step that I do because it's actually the same. You have to do this for your car anyway, and I'm just doing now a fast forward of every part so that you can roughly see what I do, okay? Now, and now I need the view from the back. So I'm switching here in my panel and say orthographic new back. So I'm now looking from the back side at the object, and here I import my image plane from the back. And you see here when I zoom out, I have the cameras and I can move my image plane here so that I see through it. And this will help me a little bit to find the form on the back. Well, there's nothing special on the back form here, but what I do is I'm using that shape to start that. don't forget to save several versions of your car so that you can go back if you do something really ugly. So I take here all of these edges and now I go on again in fast forward mode. And now the more funny part begins, because I have my rough shapes everywhere and now it's time to connect them. And this is a point where you definitely should save your scene as an extra version, because it would be good. Maybe it's not necessary to connect all of the parts, but the reason why I do this is that I get a fluent and smooth geometry, and I will disconnect some parts later on again, but to guarantee that everything is going well to each other, then that's the reason why I'm now connecting. And of course here it will be quite tricky how to model here the geometry and here in the back, and all of you will have different issues in connection. So when you start connecting, of course you have to combine the objects, otherwise you can't merge them or merge vertices or build bridges. So first of all, combine the stuff. And what I do here is, with a simple touched weld, I can connect some of the points, and here it is easy, of course. Here stop, because I have to do here later on any stuff, then here and here. I'm trying to connect the points from the not perfect line to the perfect one. So mesh combine and go to touched weld. Here you see I need another edge loop, and this is fully fine. I move this one a little bit, so slide edge tool, where is it? Here, slide edge. Move it a little bit, and then I insert here another edge loop. And this edge loop, so that it isn't perfectly straight, I just give it a little bit of bouncing up. And here, no, put it down again, but now I can do some connecting here. So my multicut is working again, and as I see from the images, I have to find a geometry which is going from this point to this point, and for that actually I get myself new geometry here, and I do this quite ugly actually, because I need a line here, and see, okay, how could this work and how could my geometry follow that line. So I take the points here and move them up, because this line should go straight up there. And now, check from all directions always. I know this looks a little bit weird maybe for you. I'm just doing some retopology, and I'm connecting and deleting some parts. I will do a connection here. And delete that one, and maybe also that one, and do a connection here. So, well, not too bad, but I also actually need a line here. I'm not sure if this is the perfect way, but definitely I don't need that one, and that one. So, not too bad, maybe a little bit. Let's check in the image where the line should go. Yeah, here we go. Let's have a look. Not perfect yet, but connected. And yeah, here I'm just doing a quick fill hole and see what to do with this region here. Maybe, oops. Connect this one. Let's see. Switch off my wireframe unshaded. Good. Happy with that. Go to the next step. And yeah, well, now when you have the rough form and if everything is working quite okay, it's not perfect actually, you can do it better everywhere. Yes, it's better. Then we can go now deeper into doing some edges, some separating, but the basic form should be more or less like this. Okay, I think I also have to do some tunings again here. It might be a little bit higher or something, but yeah, the next step will follow in the next tutorials.